Set in Philadelphia, follow Camille Ebony as she discovers the woman she was meant to be in the blink of an eye, seemingly when her marriage, career, and life are rearranged, when a cool stranger enters the mix. She realizes for the first time in her life that she is able to throw caution to the wind and just be herself without any label or duties attached. All things must come to an end, though, and once again Camille finds herself taking on the requirements now of wife and mother. But when she is called upon to do one more favor, the journey to the heart of the matter continues, and she comes face to face with the realities of the girl she once was, the person she has wanted to be, and the woman she is. On the road to self-discovery, Camille soon realizes there must be some casualties.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Angel Snubbed Up 7 in the house. And it seems like we have our soul sister Noble is in the house with me. And welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. And tonight's topic is outraged Trump terrorists siege the Capitol. Very interesting. Now, I don't think they use that. I don't think they use that word terrorist in reference. They call them rioters and hoods or something. They never went to the. As far as I know, I've never heard them being called terrorists, domestic terrorists. I never heard. Well, we're gonna do that tonight here. We're gonna call them what they would call us, domestic terrorists. And
I heard the mainstream media refer to them as domestic terrorists.
Did they?
I heard also Joe Biden called them insurrectionists.
Insurrectionist.
Mm-hmm.
it almost sounds like we going back to the Civil War days or something.
I know.
You know? That's what it almost feel like, you know, because that word insurrection really hasn't been used since, you know, the Civil War days.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Because when I heard insurrection, I heard the word insurrection when they talking about you know, Iraq, Afghanistan, and places like that. But that's in reference to those nations, you know, those people fighting, you know, within their own countries. It has never been used here like that. You know, since the war. Matter of fact, I heard that the Capitol hasn't been stormed like that since the Revolutionary War times. The British took over the Capitol.
That was in 1814.
1814?
That was the last time. That was when the British had stormed the U.S. Capitol. 1814.
Now, I'm not supposed to be leading the charge on this topic here. Okay. All right. So yeah, we ready to go. Talib's supposed to lead the charge on this topic.
Okay.
Okay, you ready, brother?
We've been here. You the one. You the one.
All right, let's get it rolling.
All right.
Hey, you can't come into the live stream?
No, we tried earlier. It's not gonna do.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for inviting me to the panel. everyone. Yes, and I'm your soul brother Taalik, and we're tonight going to discuss a very important topic dealing with the chaos that took place yesterday in the nation's capital, of course. And first of all, what I want to say is that looking at that situation, everyone, we must understand and realize that this country has been headed in that direction for a long time, okay? And of course, we know that this is not the first time in history of the United States of America that the nation's capital was, attacked. And, I also want to say that with this going on, it was deliberately allowed, because had it been Black Lives Matter protesters, had it been any other type of protesters, that's been allowed from the jump, okay? And I'm pretty sure that everyone knows and is familiar with what I'm saying on that note, and that ain't even an understatement. And with the security breach situation that took place, see, we got to understand something about, first of all, law enforcement in this country. Law enforcement has always been clearly known to be entangled with white supremacy, okay? It has always been known to be entangled with the white supremacy from the beginning of the inception of law enforcement itself in this country, okay? And so it would be no surprise to anyone that, the U.S. Capitol Police and other authorities obviously allowed this to happen, because knowing that Trump was going to have a rally speech yesterday, and knowing the magnitude of it, and knowing his supporters that were there, and knowing what they're capable of, it should have been all type of security there: the National Guard, the state police, the FBI, the ATF, and whatever else was needed to guard and protect that U.S. Capitol, including the politicians that was inside the chambers while they were getting ready to certify Joe Biden as the next president of the United States. And obviously, because things did not go properly that way as it was supposed to have done, we saw what took place. And this was just another confirmation, like we always have said from this platform, that anything, drastically on a major level could take place in this country that could disrupt, the normal, everyday lives of everyone that's living in America, okay? We saw this with 9/11. We saw this, of course, with this worldwide pandemic called COVID-19, we cannot underestimate situations and circumstances. And this is why we've been telling you all along that as far as us as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, we must understand and realize that, that military could come knocking at our door one day just to round us up, to haul us off the concentration camps. But, see, there's a lot of you that don't think that grease smell, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, keep on living in fantasy land. Keep on living in la-la land, and eventually, you'll get that hard slap in the face, and when it comes time to really wake up from it, it'll be too late, you see. So, I mean, this is a clear indication that, let's say, if these white folks, like I heard someone say, ended up, going hungry, and they were starving. You know what I'm saying? And those of you that claim that you have white allies, you don't think they would turn on you? I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? When these Caucasians get to the point where they get mad, especially like in this case with the government, you see what I'm saying? You gotta realize that they mean business and they not playing games. There was a couple of them that died yesterday in the wake of this.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? When they decide to go to war, or when they decide to take their issues to the streets hard like that, they mean business. It ain't about no half-stepping, like that so-called Black Lives Matter crap is, talking about see me with my hands up and all this old craziness and all that crap.
Yeah.
The white folks ready to die for what they believe in. And that's entirely different from the way that black people in this country think. And this is why the other day in another video I made, which is not related to the Mississippi campaign, of course, is why I made the statement as to why would it even be worth, somebody risking their freedom and life for, dark-skinned people in this country. When dark-skinned people don't even want to fight for their own freedom. You know what I'm saying? We steady being comfortable in this situation, still doing this silly, sadistic, crazy stuff that we doing among ourselves and with each other. And here you got these races, you understand, that has forcefully imposed themselves on the U.S. Capitol. This is the type of stuff that you see in foreign countries all over the world. You know what I'm saying? You thinking that this could never reach the doorsteps of America, well, there you go. This is big. See, we have become so comfortable with our situation here in this country that we don't realize that anything is subject to disrupt your so-called everyday norm of life existence in America. And this is what people fail to realize. And this is why people keep getting hit up with these so-called shocking surprises. And when they ain't ready or prepared for it, they're in disarray. They all confused. You know what I'm saying? So they lose their mind, go crazy, do stupid stuff. Well, you should have been prepared for it. That's all I can say. Now, we all know that these same type of people that was involved in that riot, and let's not forget, it's 73 million of them that voted for Trump, okay? And even though you have tens of millions who didn't, but still, you got 70-some million of them that voted for Trump, okay? And we walking around like ain't nothing happening. Like they could walk up, if they willing to plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, what you think they willing to do to even go as far as running up on a group of black people, catching them off guard. You see what I'm saying? Doing something nasty to one of us. You see what I'm saying? And they've already clearly became emboldened and made it known that that's just what they'll do. Are you ready for that? You know? I mean, black people, or whatever you call yourself, African Americans, or whatever. You know, are you really ready for that? Are you ready for that? Because these Caucasians ain't playing. They ain't playing no games. They serious about this. Very serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while you running around here, getting high on crack, getting high on the weed, you know, getting high on your Molly pills or whatever other crazy drug you getting strung out on or whatever. You know, your Hennessy, your Absolute or whatever other drink, you gargling down your throat, and you ain't seeing the big picture on what's happening here. You know, these people actually don't care nothing about running up on you, doing you harm.
Mm-hmm.
They'll run up in your house, shoot you, your babies. You understand me? Your wife, your daughter, your husband, your grandmama. These are the type of people that have that type of mentality that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It was back in the 100 years ago, back in the 1920s and so forth. They were willing and able more so to do it even more recklessly because the law allowed them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's before so-called integration with the civil rights movement came in. You see what I'm saying? Now, let them have their way like that, for real. You know what I'm saying? You talking about they can't, you know, like blacks out and exterminate blacks, like I heard someone saying in a video recently, the other day. You know, they kill thousands of animals.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You don't think you don't have the capabilities to do your butt like that? You got another thing coming. I told you they have more power and resources to exterminate us right now if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? If they could have got away with killing us after they so-called freed us from slavery, they would have did it. You see what I'm saying? And they got more power and like I say, resources now to where they could do just that. They don't need us. You know, I hear a lot of these people in the so-called pro-black conscious community talking about, well, they still need black people. That's why they ain't destroyed us. You understand? They got enough of these immigrants over here to do whatever they need them to do. That's why they put them in place to do whatever they do. To just get us up out the way. They don't need us. You understand? That's why the only thing they figure they could do is just lock us up. That way they can make money off us if they don't kill us. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, my thing is this, is that the reality of the situation is that if you don't wake up and smell the coffee, you're going to see that happening. And you're going to see it getting worse. You know what I'm saying? I don't need, you know, I got to the point now, I done became so insensitized with hearing about police shooting black people or whatever. It don't even, you know, I scroll past the article. You know, because all you Negroes want to do is stay comfortable in your oppression. And then shout and pout when the police, you understand, don't get charged for shooting or killing one of you. Like with that situation that happened in Colchester, Wisconsin, where they shot that boy in the back, 17 times in the Justice Department. I'm talking about the federal government now. decided they would not charge the police with shooting this guy. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is what you get. You know, this is what you get for wanting to be among your persons.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, before I get tongue-tied, I want to allow our brother Angel Snuff 7 and our sister Nova Levine to have they say on this topic. And I'll pass the mic on to whoever would like to proceed.
Okay. We're going to pass that mic on to our beautiful sister, Sister Nova.
Hey. Yesterday, I witnessed thousands of white folk turn against their own country.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they are a bunch of terrorists and insurrectionists. Yes. Many of them need to be in jail. They need to go to jail. I don't give a flip-flop if they only spend 1 year. 1 year in prison. Many of them that stormed that Capitol need to be in jail. They need to be locked up.
Mm-hmm.
They need to serve time. And they also need to pay restitution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, with that being said, what I saw was white supremacy turned against itself. I made a video about it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw. I see white supremacy turning against itself. I saw many white people carrying backpacks. Y'all need to realize that some of them folks had IEDs.
Mm.
Do you all know what IEDs are?
Improvise.
Those are small bombs. Those are small bombs. Yes. Those are small bombs. Do you know they could have caused significant fire damage to that building if any one of them bombs had gone off? Do you all know that these terrorists that stormed the U.S. Capitol yesterday could have destroyed part of the U.S. Capitol if they really wanted to, okay? Now, many of them also had guns too. Many of them had guns.
Mm-hmm.
What if hundreds of these white supremacists had military-style guns and decided to shoot their way into the congressional chambers? One white woman was talking to the news media outside about how they should have dragged those senators out of the Capitol by their hair. This is on video. People like Young Pharaoh and Sarah Sudnisetti would never have stormed the U.S. Capitol under any circumstances. Now, some people said that they saw some black people there at the Capitol yesterday. Baby, I didn't see no black people inside the Capitol building yesterday.
No.
Except for the U.S. Capitol Police. That's what I saw. Okay. I saw one U.S. Capitol Police. He was black, right? And he was running up the steps, running away from the mob of white supremacists that was chasing him. Okay. That's what I saw. Now, there may have been some black protesters out there along with the other white protesters, you know, i.e. terrorists, insurrectionists. Okay, we're gonna call it for what it is. These are a bunch of damn insurrectionists. Okay, and white supremacist groups, they domestic terrorists anyway. You know, they domestic terrorists anyway. But I saw one black Capitol Police officer running away like a little pussy. Oh, you know, you know,
yeah.
Wow. Had this been Black Lives Matter, had this been Black Lives Matter and Antifa, these folks wouldn't have made it inside the U.S. Capitol.
No.
It would not have happened under any circumstances. Did you all see a photo this past summer with the National Guard standing on the steps of the U.S. Capitol during the Black Lives Matter protest? Did you all see a picture of that? I saw a picture earlier. There's a picture out there with National Guardsmen standing on the steps of the U.S. Capitol during the Black Lives Matter protest. They wasn't going to let y'all black asses come into the U.S. Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. What we have in the White House serving as the president of the United States is a complete sociopath. That's what they've been dealing with for 4 years. He's a sociopath, okay? His name is Donald Trump. He was the one that incited that crowd to march on the U.S. Capitol, interrupt the electoral vote proceedings that were going on inside the congressional chambers, and to stop the process of the transfer of power to Joe Biden on January 20, okay? The president is upset about this election. He does not want to leave office. He feels this election was stolen from him. And guess what? Many people around the country also think there was significant voter fraud in this election, myself included, okay? And although I did not vote for the motherfucker, you know.
Right.
Can you bleep that out? Can you bleep that out later on?
It's all good.
Okay. I did not vote for him. And I wasn't going to vote for him. But at the same time, I do think there was voter fraud in this election. Okay? I think this election was stolen from him. I'm going to maintain what I said yesterday. I think this election was stolen from him. But you'll never see me out in the streets. You'll never see me out there breaking windows and storming Capitol buildings. You'll never see me doing shit, like that. You'll never see that from me. Never. And I didn't vote for Biden. And I'm glad. Guess what? I'm glad I did not vote for him. I'm glad I did not vote for Biden. I'm glad I did not vote for Warnock. I'm glad that I did not vote for Ossoff. Okay. I'm glad I didn't vote for him either. Okay. Let me tell you. I seen white folks fight the Capitol Police. What was the police doing to Black Lives Matter protesters this past summer? What was they doing to them? What were they doing to them? They was tearing their asses up, wasn't it? That's what I thought. They was tearing their asses up. Okay. I saw these white folks sling police officers around like rag dolls. Did you see that this past summer from the Black Lives Matter protest? Did you see the same thing happening where they were slinging around police officers and they didn't get shot and killed? Did you see that? Can somebody answer that? Did you see that? Did you see Black Lives Matter protesters this past summer slinging around police officers like rag dolls and did not get shot and killed? Okay, yeah. But that's what I saw yesterday, though. That's what I saw yesterday. I saw a bunch of white supremacists, i.e. insurrectionists, fighting the Capitol Police, but they didn't get killed. They were actually like physically assaulting the popo, but they did not get shot and killed. Okay? Think about that. See, Black people need to study every footage out there about what happened yesterday. They need to study it because Black Lives Matter, they would have been met with strong resistance had it been a bunch of Black folks out there yesterday. Now, a few months ago, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and other groups, they were out in full force, burning down buildings, looting stores, breaking windows out at the courthouses. But then again, the people who may have been the ones behind this violence that you saw yesterday at the state capitol and behind the lootings and the burning down of the buildings, you know, back during this past summer, they may have been white supremacists all along, disguised as Antifa and infiltrated the Black Lives Matter protest this past summer, right? Think about that, y'all. Think about it. I just want y'all to think about that, what I just said. People you saw yesterday versus what you saw this past summer during the Black Lives Matter protests. They could have been the same people that was doing all that shit back this past summer. Now, you know, I also saw a bunch of young black males and black females on video this past summer in various cities like Minneapolis, looting stores, you know, such as Target and Walmart. However, I stand by what I said about these white supremacists who may have infiltrated the Black Lives protests this past summer and was behind many buildings like CNN in Atlanta with the windows being smashed out by a white guy. Y'all remember that? And you could see him on video smashing out the windows at the CNN building. The police station that was taken over and occupied in Seattle this past summer, that was white folks who had done that.
Yeah.
Also, the Black Lives Matter protesters were blamed for burning down the police station in Minneapolis after George Floyd was murdered by a white police officer on May 25th, 2020. You know, after, you know, the Black Lives Matter got blamed for that. There were white people out there also who helped to destroy that police station. If the MAGA crowd that stormed the U.S. Capitol on yesterday is going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, you better prosecute some of the Black Lives Matter protesters for burning down police stations. You better do the same thing with them because, you know, violence is violence no matter who is doing it. Violence is violence no matter who is doing it. Okay, well, they burned down the police station in Minneapolis. Okay, well, you know, the MAGA crowd, i.e. insurrectionists yesterday, destroyed the U.S. Capitol building. You know, I mean, they did a lot of damage in there, but they could have completely burned at least half of the building down. They could have, I mean, they could have just set off bombs. They could have set off IEDs in that building and at least destroyed through fire half of that building yesterday. Okay, and if you're gonna tolerate one group destroying property, you may as well tolerate the other one. The white folks on yesterday that turned against his own government, they felt comfortable. They felt comfortable enough to storm that building because they didn't feel like they would get shot and killed by the popo. Had it been a bunch of Black Lives Matter protesters, there would be way more than 4 people dead, y'all. Today, there are 4 people dead because of that. There would have been way more than 4 people dead had it been a bunch of Black folks that stormed that Capitol building yesterday. You know, one Trump supporter got shot in the chest, and she was an officer in the U.S. Air Force. And she also owned a business with her husband in San Diego, California. Witnesses said that she was shot. She was shot while attempting to climb through a barricaded window and enter the congressional chambers. What about the folks that were scuffling with the popo? The folks that was actually physically assaulting Capitol police officers, why didn't they get shot and killed? Also, I'm just saying, okay, had it been, like I said, had it been a bunch of Black protesters, they would have been shot and killed for scuffling with the popo inside the Capitol building. Okay, now with that being said, I rest my mic.
Okay. Well, we'll pass the mic right now to our number one soul brother, Angel Stuff Servant. Go ahead, brother.
Howdy, everybody. My beard coming back. Well, I want to thank, of course, Sister Noble and Brother Talib for coming on tonight. Actually, it was Brother Talib's idea. I would rather be in bed sleeping. I go to bed real early, but I get up early too. So this is a topic that almost everybody's talking about. And usually this is a topic, if you follow my channel, I don't talk about it. You know, I don't talk about these things at all. I'm concerned with us, what we doing. I don't care what they're doing. I could care less. They can burn down the Capitol. They can hoop and holler. They can get drunk. I don't care about their life. I don't care about what they're doing. I just don't care. You need to start caring about yourself. You know, and take advantage. Anything if they're doing ignorant and stupid, you need to take advantage of it. That's what you need to be doing. But I want to make these points here, and we're going to call it a night. Number one, we live in an unjust country. And of course, we as Black Americans, so-called Negroes, whatever you want to call yourself, like Brother Talib said, whatever you want to call yourself, I could care less. I don't trip off of it. African, whatever you want to call yourself. We already know and have experienced in this country, being here almost 500 years now, we already know it's unjust. It's not fair. And the list goes on, and we've been oppressed, blah, blah, blah. But you come into a time or a point in history where now they are having the same effect on their own people. And see, their own people are not like the so-called Negro, because we come accustomed to pain. We've become accustomed to oppression and discrimination and murder. We're accustomed to that. We can tolerate that. We just say, oh, well, things will get better in the old by and by. You know, that's how we play it off. You don't hear them talking about let Jesus fix it. I never heard them, nobody in the crowd, talk about we shall overcome. You don't hear that. You don't hear them talk about Jesus gonna fix it. You don't hear nobody talk about let's wait on the mother plane. None of the stuff that we engage in. Our spirituality. Don't worry, when you die, you're gonna fly out your body and go to hemisphere number 27. You don't hear them talk like that. None of it. I never heard nobody talk like that at all. If anything, they talk about what it is, the Second Amendment, my gun rights. That's what you're going to hear from them. So there's a lesson coming from the Muslims that they teach all the time. It's called the time and what must be done. We really should be saying the time and what we're doing and what we did. Because if you know the time and what must be done, then you should be doing something since you know the time. But we don't take our own advice. What is it? I stay on these sites with Nation of Islam believers. I don't know why they haven't kicked me off. I guess for some of them, they can tolerate my questions and my inquiry. And all down the line, they say, Mr. Farrakhan told us this was going to happen. Mr. Farrakhan told us that was going to happen. Mr. Farrakhan told us 12 years ago. Mr. Farrakhan told us 40 years ago. Well, if Mr. Farrakhan told you these things 40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, then what did you do to prepare for the time? Absolutely nothing. You done nothing. So what's the sense of, I knew this was going to happen, but you didn't do nothing to prepare? Going back to the story of Noah. Yeah, Noah. It's the story of Noah about the flood. They knew that the flood was coming. Try to warn the people. And what did Noah do since they knew about the flood coming? They decided to build an ark. The ones who did not believe it, they didn't build nothing. Because you always prepare. And so when the flood comes, Noah and his family safe because they built an ark. Those who ignored the warning, they got flooded up. We are living in a time when we should be building an ark. We are living in a time where we need to be preparing ourselves because we're supposed to know. We know all these things. Then you should be preparing yourself for the worst. It might not happen, but you should be prepared. But you've been taught this for 40 years and you still not in a position to do anything. So what's the sense of knowing? What's the sense of knowing these things that you're not going to prepare when the time comes? But the time that we're living in right now, and I was talking to Sister Noble or Brother Talib, or maybe both of you at one point or another, I was like, this sort of reminds me of the Civil War. The beginnings of the Civil War when they was going back and forth before the firing of Fort Sumter and the actual beginning of the Civil War, because there was back and forth and arguing and debating and stuff like that before Civil War actually kicked off. And this is what this reminds me of. There was prior to this, there was a bombing in Nashville, Tennessee by a man, white man. Oh yeah, it's by a white man. Y'all didn't know white men get violent? Yeah, they get violent. And he had mercy. Actually, this white man had mercy because his bomb was bad, a bad mama jamma. To my knowledge, I don't think nobody really got hurt. He killed himself. He could have put the bomb where a lot of people could have been hurt. I mean, dead for real. And he didn't have, he gonna kill himself anyway, so what he got to lose? But he had mercy, and he decided to set this bomb off in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, see, another difference between us and white folks have access to things that can make bombs like that. We don't. We don't have access to these different chemicals and explosives. We don't have access to these things. They do, and they are trusted. And so here's a man able to get these things to develop a bomb that blew down all kinds of parts of Nashville, downtown. Now, why he done it, who knows? But this gives you an example of, it reminds you of roaches. When you see one, there's a whole lot of others. He's not the only one. And these others not going to be merciful like that. They're going to be looking out to kill because they want to prove their point. They're not going to be doing that. And so what you see in Washington, D.C., that's baby stuff. That's not the real thing. That's them crying a little bit. They didn't really want to go up in there and hurt nobody for real. They just wanted to get some steam off. Y'all stole the election, they crying or whatever. When white folks get mad and angry for real, it's going to be a whole new ball game. Now, this is what they do over suspected election fraud. what you think they're going to do. And so you never listen to Angel Stumping Up 7. You don't want to listen to Sister Noble. You don't want to listen to Taalik. We crazy. We insane. We don't know what the hell we talking about. Now, you don't want to listen to us. We only get 10 subscribers. We only have 10 views or whatever. Just because somebody have 100,000 subscribers and 100,000 views don't make them right. I have to tell you this all the time. Just because you're popular don't make you right. Donald Trump is popular. Is he right? Adolf Hitler was popular. Was he right? He was popular. Adolf Hitler had more followers than Farrakhan and Tariq Nasheed and all our black leaders put together. And Adolf Hitler is dead and still got a lot of followers right now to this day. Does that make him right? No, it does not. Just because you're popular. Jim Jones was popular. How did that end? Mr. Popular went down into a country and these people voluntarily took poison and killed themselves. Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. How did that turn out? Mr. Popular. So that don't mean nothing because, oh, nobody listening to you. But I'm not sending you out to nobody's house, talk about kill them because they bringing our economy down. I'm not taking you into a jungle and telling you to take some poison or none of this screwy stuff. So that don't mean, but you won't listen to us. We tell you on this platform, anything could happen to change things. COVID-19, coronavirus, just come out of nowhere, have changed our lives here. Run around here like we the Lone Ranger or we some kind of bandit want to hold somebody up. And you remember you used to laugh at Michael Jackson because he wore a mask like that all the time. Now you look funny like Michael Jackson. Everybody around the world laugh at Michael Jackson. Now they run around with masks on. That change happened overnight. It was in China just a few weeks ago. Now it's in the United States. And now we got a mutated version of the virus on its way. Just come out of nowhere. This coronavirus, you got a long ride ahead. A long ride ahead. It's not over with. And it could get worse. Some of you talk about the coronavirus. It ain't real. If it get worse, you're going to find out how real it is. They are to the point. I saw a video where a funeral home owner said, I can't take no more. I can't take no more bodies. They coming too fast. I want business, but this is too much. I can't do it. In places in New York, they have these mortuary, these things somewhere down there on the docks. They just throwing bodies down there. They can't bury them. They can't take their time, have a funeral and go through all. Got to get rid of them. It's going to get worse. And the wise person, think about the worst. It might not get there, but you need to think about what if it do? The worst scenario. Whenever the police and the firemen and the army, they always think about the worst scenario. We don't think that way. Anything can happen. Oh, I can't go back. Black people can't go into slavery. When your food is cut off, when your electricity is cut off, when your gas is cut off, tell me, I'll fight. You can't fight hungry. You can have all the bullets you want to in your house. Your food is cut off, your gas and your water. How long you going to fight? And they're going to tell you, if you want to eat, you need to come to this plantation, Negro. I wants to eat. I take down my gun. Come on, whatever your wife's name and the kids, y'all take y'all happy ass to the plantation. See, it's easy to talk. It's easy to talk. It's easy to talk when your stomach full. When you got gas and electricity, when you got everything. Yeah, I'll do this and I'll do that. Yeah, cut all that off. Let's see how long you're going to last. It ain't going to take long because some of y'all love to eat. Y'all eat breakfast, dinner, snacks. You love to eat. And then all of a sudden, that's just cut off. What you going to do? Talk about the black folks. We going to fight. Today's generation ain't like the old generation. We'll fight the white man. Cut your, all thing I do is cut your supplies off. Our army can't fight if they hungry. That's why in army war scenarios, you try to cut off their supplies, their water, their food. They can't fight. You can't fight when you starving. Who you think you're talking to? This is the reality's temple on earth. We keep it real. We ain't talking about no spaceship, and we not talking about some kind of superhero magic stuff around here. I know you're not thinking about when your food get cut off, your water and your gas. You can have all the guns you want in the world. Cut off your gas, your water, your lights, your food. What you gonna do? You gonna put down all your arms, and it has been done before. They didn't even fight. A lot of people, all they did was cut off the food supply, and the people were starving, and they put down their guns and weapons and gave up. You don't produce nothing. Now, if we had some place like Mississippi, you might have a chance to hold up a little taste. It'd still be very difficult. But you have better of a chance because you will prepare yourself for that day and dig in. And you'll be able to fend off this one particular geographical spot. You have a better, it still won't be easy, but you have a shot. You have a shot. Right now, you don't have a shot at all. You're done. Because as soon as your food and water and all that is cut off, you're done. With your, I'm going to fight this, and they ain't going to do this to me. What they said, talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. Talk about we brave, we warriors, we fighters. Nah. Now, there's a situation where in Vietnam, and you're not like them. I heard stories in Vietnam, those soldiers could dig a hole, lay down in that hole, cover themselves with dirt, and just leave a spot for them to breathe out, and they could actually lay down in that hole for days. I heard stories, they said American soldiers actually was walking across these men that was laying down in these holes, and they never knew. You don't have them kind of skills. You a comfortable feral Negro. You got to eat. Matter of fact, I heard that's where Roman noodles come from. Because the only thing you got to do is take those dried up noodles, put them in a little warm water, and you can live off of that. That was a food that those Vietnamese soldiers was eating during the wartime. You too comfortable. You want some for real food, something. You can't live like that. You're not a soldier. You're not prepared. In order to fight, you got to have some kind of discipline. And you don't have no discipline. We don't have no discipline. When was the last? How long can you go without food? Well, you know you can't go without water for 3 days. After 3 days, you're going to start having some problems. Can't go without water. That's just natural. And you comfortable? You used to electricity, heat, and look, George Washington and those who was fighting the revolution, y'all know how cold it get on the East Coast. I mean, it get cold as hell. And they out there going up and down rivers fighting the British. It's cold as hell. You don't have that kind of discipline. Soon as you get cold, look, here my gun, here my bullets. You just want to go get warm. You don't have that kind of discipline. None of you do. Who you gonna fight? You're too comfortable. I see pictures of Negroes on the internet. They holding their guns. The women got their little children holding. That ain't nothing but a show. Because the reality is you don't have no discipline. All these things, you got to have a discipline to go along with the weapon, and you don't have it. Because the only thing somebody got to do is cut your supplies off for a little bit, and you're done. You're done. Because you're not prepared anyway. And the first place you need to prepare is yourself with discipline, and you don't have any discipline. And that's why all hell break out if these people can't get any food. If the trucks stop rolling and the supplies get cut off, oh boy, I don't want to be alive for that day. Especially in the cities. In the rural areas, you might have a chance. But that's like I told Sister Noble. Don't stay in Atlanta. When something like that go down, you got to get out, go to the rural areas, because that's the worst place to be in the city areas, because they run out of food. That's the end. And it'd be just like vicious dogs and packs running around trying to find something to eat. So your best bet is to get the hell out of those city areas and go out into the rural areas. Hell, you might be able to catch a rabbit or something. Who knows? There's a lot of ponds and lakes out in the rural areas. We're not thinking about this at all. We talk about what you gonna do. Brother was telling me, oh, they ain't gonna do this to me. Yeah, because you're comfortable now. You can say that because you're living comfortable. But you haven't been put in that position. I was locked up with murderers and rapists and pedophiles. A guy cut his own mama head off. Those type of people. That's the type of people I was living with. Now, if a man can cut his own mama head off, what you think he'll do to me? You think that I slept good for 10 years? No. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep good for 10 years. I saw a brother come in, talk about he killed at least 3 people, talking all that bad stuff, and I kill and blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, he cried like a baby, like a baby. And there was a little skinny middle-class white boy. He said, that dude is a puke, a pussy. I saw people come in all tough, big, and bad. But when they find out that you could be in this mental institution for the rest of your life, they broke down and started crying. When they began to deal with the reality of things, they start crying. No, you will not see freedom again. This is a life sentence. And they start crying. But they done killed 4 or 5 people and they bad and whatever. Okay. I wish I had a picture to take. I wish I had a camera I could take these pictures and show, I saw these guys break down. Yeah. As long as you don't have to face it, anybody can say, well, if it was me, it wouldn't have. Yeah, whatever. People can say anything they want out their mouth until they have to actually face it. So what you think? Now these Peckerwoods and some of their Negro friends went to the Capitol and terrorized it for a few minutes. And they did this because they upset the election was stolen, right? What you think gonna happen when they get hungry? And right now we are in a situation because of this coronavirus, and people can't work and we can't move the way that we want to, and this government is being stingy. giving support to its citizens, these food banks can only do so much. These food banks are being strained to the max. What you think gonna happen as time goes on? And this corona thing, it stays in place. The longer it goes, the worse it gets. One of my favorite restaurants, I think they're going out of business because that was the theme of their restaurant, you know, this big buffet. And now people can't come in. You can't have these buffets like that no more until this virus come under control. And so hundreds of people lost their jobs. People can't work. What you think gonna happen? Now, as long as a few Negroes, as long as we suffer, like you know, they don't really give a damn. They don't really care, you know. And we really don't give a care either. We just like, you know, Jesus gonna fix it, and the mother plane, and I'm just gonna die. I'm gonna float out and go to planet zero or whatever. That's how we deal with it. 'Cause I mean, we used to suffering anyway like that, and we scary too. I mean, some of y'all don't want to admit it. We scary. We don't have the nerve. See, Black Lives Matter, they came out there and protest, but you don't have to worry about them. We don't have the nerve to rush the Capitol. They come out there with their guns. And Black Lives Matter, we don't have the nerve to do that. Especially when you know it's a good chance that you're going to get shot outright like that. We don't have the nerve to do nothing like that. And plus, you know, Caucasian people, I don't know why we said there's a difference. Caucasian people are not going to treat themselves the way they treat us or anybody else. They're not going to do that. Because that's their brother. That's their sisters. That's their family. That's what this country was built for them. And even after the Civil War, these people was traitors to the government. The South was a traitor to the government. They was insurrectionists. But what did they do? They sat down with them. Okay, what do you want, you know? But see, another thing is that the South showed them we ain't nothing to play with because we could do this again. And they didn't want to go, nobody didn't want to go another round. So what do you want? See, black folks have never fought these devils to the point where they said, them Negroes, yeah, we killed a lot of them, but damn, they gave us a run for the money. See, we're not willing to die like that to gain our respect. So they just beat the hell out of us and kick us in our ass. That's what we do going down the street. See, the South, the federal government thought we could just go into the South because they didn't have no military. They wasn't prepared for no war like that. They thought the federal government thought they'd go to the South, blow up a few things and whatever, and it'll be over with. The war went 4 years. And many times the South almost was getting ready to win. It wasn't easy as they thought. Even though the federal government had better technology and blah, blah, blah. But see, the South had heart. We believe in this, and I'm willing to die and fight for it. See, we're not like that. We're not willing to die and fight for us. We'll do that for them. We'll go to Iraq and Afghanistan, all over the world, and fight for them, Mr. Patriotic. But you won't fight and die for yourself and for what benefit your people. You do anything for this slave master, this unjust people. But what you think gonna happen when they start starving? When they start suffering? And I think Brother Taalik brought it up early in his talk. Do you know The only reason why we can do and move about and do what we do in this country is because of the law. It's not because they love you. If the Congress took these laws that protect us away, you'll see the real them. See, it's against the law to discriminate here. It's against the law to discriminate. But what if they took all that away? You think they still gonna be the way they are? No. The reason why they hire you is because I have to. I gotta have at least 2 Negroes on the payroll. So that's why I gotta hire, and I gotta have. I don't like women either. But if I hire this black woman, okay, that covers the black and it covers the female. That's why a lot of black women was getting hired, because that takes care of 2 categories: the woman part and the black part. You said they don't hire black men because you a man. You only worth 1 point. But a black woman, she's a female and she's black, so now I can knock out 2 in 1 bush. If they take all these laws away, you'll see the real thing. All those stores you used to go into, it'll be no blacks allowed on the front. You be like, what? Even Walmart. You go to Walmart, it might say no black people. Or they tell you, you got to go around the back of the store. If they took these laws away. You don't believe, see, y'all don't believe it, do you? It's the law. These laws is protecting you from these things. It ain't because they love you and this is the melting pot or whatever. And it not only goes for us, but you got other folks that don't want Chinese in their business or Africans come to their business. You'll see signs, no Africans, no Chinese. You'll see the real melting pot come out, because it's not a melting pot. Everybody here in this country is out for themselves except you and me, because we believe in the melting pot. I loves everybody. I loves everybody, and the Chinese folks and the Africans, ring around the road. We are the world. We are the children. We are the one that make it brighter. That's us. So let's start giving. We the only ones that do that kind of dumb stuff. And I'm a humanitarian, but I'm also a realist. I understand, because the reality is nobody looking out for us. So we got to look out for us. And that's just the reality of it. I wish there was a melting pot. It would be a beautiful thing, but not in our day and time. That's why you have in this country the German community. See, white folks even separate from themselves, because you have the German community, you have the Italian community, you have the Swedish community, then you got the Chinese community. We separated. We all separated anyway. This is not a melting pot. Everybody's looking out for themselves. The rich put up gates, keep your poor ass out of our neighborhoods. What is that raggedy car coming up the hill? The rich separate themselves from the poor. You can't live in this area because you can't afford it. And then they put gates around. It's a gated community. Don't come here. This is not a melting pot. Everybody's looking out for themselves. We have to look out for ourselves. And that's why it's important that we support and get on board the Soul Train, the Mississippi campaign. It's our only way out, because we already far behind. It's the only way that we can put ourselves in a position to be in competition with these suckers. Let me say this and we're going to get out of here. One of my associates, and Sister Nova met him. He lives there in Atlanta with her, Brother Derek Grayson. He's known as T-Mont on YouTube, the Minister of Truth. I don't know what truth he's the minister of. Anyway, he loves Donald Trump. I presented to him the Mississippi campaign, and basically it went in this ear and out the other. He's not interested because he's looking for the great white hope. He's one of these black people, soul brothers, who have faith in America. Either Democratic Party or Republican Party, or he just have faith in white folks, period. Everything gonna be all right. They gonna get it together one day. Bruh, you're almost dead now. When they gonna get it together? You ain't got that too much longer to live. They, at the rate they're going, they're not gonna get together in your lifetime. He was there. He was there at the terrorist get together. He was there. And I'm texting him, and I'm telling him they reporting violence on the news. And he's telling me that's not true. I don't see none of that. Yeah, but he's still outside on the steps out there. He's not part of those ones that done broke into this building, and they have went into and sit in these people's seats and broke out windows and smashed down doors. He's in denial of what they done, what his fellow protesters have done. You have black folks in this country who have faith in the oppressor, and they're going to have to learn the hard way, because he's going to find out the hard way when resources get low, when resources get to the point where it's either me or you, your white friends and your Chinese friends, or whoever the hell they are, they're going to show you my people come first. Yeah, we cool, but my people come first. Now, I was talking about on a video not too long ago, there are those who may be different from you. They'll go down. Y'all go down together as like blood brothers. But there's not going to be a whole lot of that. I don't see that. See, because as long as people are comfortable, they say and do anything. But when you start taking away water, and there's, the gas get low, and the resources, and blah, blah, people change. People change. Just like they change when you get money. They change. They start treating you different. So, Brother T-Mont is looking for the great white hope. And I put that on his page one day. They went ballistic. And all his Peckerwood friends start coming after me when I told them about the great white hope. I smashed all of them. Like 10 or 12 of them came at me at one time. I'm like, right in here, right in there. Get back, get off. Get back, Satan. That's why I got them off me. I know what the hell I'm talking. Plus, I wasn't talking to you anyway. I was just making a statement because I have a black man posting, kissing Donald Trump in the backside, and looking for the great white hope. He was in the military. I think he was in the Navy. He's very patriotic to this country. He's the same kind of black man that would blow my brains out protecting this devil. Yes, he would. Because you're not going to talk about my country. So I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't turn my back on somebody with that mindset at all, because they wrapped up in the oppressor. So no, I wouldn't. And one last thing I want to say. Donald Trump is going out of office. I don't know whether he's going to go out smooth or with a bang. Who knows about Donald Trump? Like Sister Nova said, he's a sociopath. Who knows how he might want a lot. Donald Trump might want to put on a real show and make it really dramatic, where they put him in handcuffs or something like that, and he's going out the White House, make a real big deal out of it. It'd be real embarrassing for the United States. Who knows how Donald Trump want to go out. Me personally myself, I think Donald Trump is a lot of fun. I like Donald Trump. I like his antics. He's a cool guy to me. I don't think Donald Trump did no worse than any other president. All of them are screwballs. So, and Donald Trump really, to my knowledge, has really done for more than black folks than any of these other presidents. He went on air on record and said that black people built this country and we don't get the credit that we get. No other president have ever said that. But y'all really hate Donald Trump. I like Donald Trump. He's different. I like the fact that he wants to do his thing and run the show. Hey, he's cool to me. No big deal. But see, this is the thing about Donald Trump too. Now he's already talking about running for the presidency again in 2024, right? But this is the thing. Donald Trump is a great influence. And whether he's president or not, he influenced the minds of a lot of people. Donald Trump has the minds of the people to the point where it really could cause a civil war. That was just a little taste. So if the people start hurting a little bit, you really see it come out. And what makes me upset is that's their problem. Don't have nothing to do with me. Don't have nothing to do with us. When I saw all that going on, I'm like, I'm jumping for joy. I sent that brother that was at the protest, I sent him a smiley face with some cool shades. I'm like, that's cool. I'm loving every minute of it. No big deal to me. I don't care. Now, what makes me upset and disappointed and frustrated is while they're going through all this, which could lead to a civil war, we should be taking advantage of the situation. While they doing that, we could be sneaking and doing something else. Like if we was on the slave plantation, while the slave master, his wife, and the family having an internal conflict, we could be like, Sister Noble, they's arguing in there. I think we can get her up our back and they won't notice that we lease the plantation. And we can leave. They won't even notice us. The next time they turn around, we done took over the state of Mississippi. They like, when the hell, how the hell did that happen? Why they fussing and fighting among each other? But we're not smart like that. Actually, we want to be part of their conflict. I don't want to be part of that conflict. That's their business. I don't care. We don't make no laws. All these new lawmakers that got elected during this election cycle, they black, but they don't make no laws like that. They help enforce the laws that the majority of the white folks already got on the books. They don't make no laws. They ain't part of nothing. They just managers in a store. They just work for Walmart. They don't own Walmart. They just work for Walmart. They just work for CVS. They just work for Family Dollar or whatever. They don't run nothing. They don't make no policies. They don't make nothing like that. But see, I don't know why people get angry at me. I want my own. And the only way you can get your own is to take it. So I might not control nothing nowhere else. But you see, when you come to Mississippi, oh, that's my laws. The first time that a white man or African or a Chinese, the first time you have to obey a law that was completely made up by the so-called Negro. First time ever in 500 years. Now, I don't know what they do anywhere else, but here we run this. And why can't it be done? Those Mormons, basically when you go to like Utah, those Mormons took control of Utah, and basically they the ones that make the laws. I heard, because they don't really like liquor, but they can make some money off of it. But I heard that if you sell liquor in the state of Utah, You have to diminish some of the alcoholic content in Utah. Why? If you want to sell liquor in Utah, you got to go by their law. So they do that. They adjust the liquor content, whatever, so they can sell in that state or whatever. And that's the same thing that you could do when you take control of Mississippi. You make the law. Matter of fact, you can make it where it's illegal to sell liquor in the state of Mississippi if you want to. You want some liquor? You got to go to the state next door or make it illegal. You can do however you want to. But of course, you wouldn't want to do that too soon because you know how people, they love to get drunk. And that's how they pacify themselves. That's how they escape reality, by drinking. And you wouldn't want to just take that from them. You know, you have to treat them, like a baby, and you have to wean them off the liquor and wean them, little taste by taste, whatever, because they're not ready for nothing like that. You got to let them keep smoking the marijuana. That's escapism for them. But you can highly tax it and take that money and benefit your state. You can highly tax it. So all kinds of things you can do when you control something. When you don't control something, then you gotta submit to the laws or whatever that under the laws of the dominant society. It's simple as that. That's why I'm frustrated, is because if we had real leadership, that's where we should be headed towards, since we do know the time, but clearly we don't know what must be done. We don't know what must be done. And I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Sister Talib, and those who come on this platform. We don't know what we're talking about. But what you got, since you do know what you're talking about, what you got? You don't have a pot to piss in. Don't tell me what I have. I don't have nothing because nobody gave me nothing. Nobody helping me. But you have 100,000 subscribers. You get lots of money. What have you done? You don't have no more than me, and I don't have nothing. What do the Nation of Islam and all that popularity, what do they really have? After 40 years, you would think that Farrakhan, the minimum he could do was invest in real estate, because we all have to have a place to live. The least he could do is have low-income housing for his followers and the community. Don't have nothing. Nothing at all. I would have been had that. That's been one of my top priorities, because the people, they paying rent. You making enough money, you could be getting that rent money. And you could be offering your people rent at a decent price. Plus they helping you. See, the whole thing is messed up. You're not interested in real leadership. You're not interested in nobody that really care about you. You're interested in hype because your belly full. And because you got some water coming out your sink. Well, I'm going to tell you, these things going to change. I hope I am dead. I don't want to be around to suffer through all this, because you're not prepared. And you talk. So what? Anybody can talk. If it was me, what I'm going to do. If I was in slavery days, I wouldn't be no slave. Oh, yeah, whatever. I know. Like they wanted to be slaves. And some of them was born into it. That's all they knew. Anyway. They was born into it. Now the ones who wasn't born into it, they might fight for their freedom because they understand what it means to be free. How you gonna fight for something you don't know nothing about when you was born in slavery? And that's our problem too. See, we born into this and we comfortable with this. And that's why you don't want to fight for your freedom. That's why you don't take this thing seriously, because this is all that you know. Slavery is all that you know. So you don't have that fire to get out, to liberate yourself, to storm the Capitol, to storm the White House, whatever the hell you got to do. You're going to leave me alone. I'm going to be liberated today. We're not going to live comfortable in this house until I get mine. It's simple as that. And these people respect you. In the Vietnam War, they killed a lot of Vietnamese people. But guess what? Them people did not give up. They kept up the fight. Until this day, they respect the hell out of Vietnamese, whatever you want to call it. They respect the hell out of those people. You get no respect because you a coward. You don't get no respect because you docile. You don't get no respect because you love your enemy. You're always going to be on the bottom. Always. And pretty soon, and really it would be a mercy that you go extinct. Because you're worthless. You're worthless. You're just existing to be used by somebody else. You're supposed to live to benefit you and yours, but you don't. You exist to benefit Europeans, benefit Chinese folks, and a lot of y'all want to benefit so that you can help some Africans that don't give a damn about you. Them's our brothers and sisters. That's my family. Yeah, as long as you got money, you go over there with some money. Yeah, a whole lot of folks will be your family when you got money to spend. Go over there poor and broke and see what happens. Everybody, all those people that talk about I immigrated to Africa, well, they got money in their pocket. They retired. They got their checks or whatever. They still getting their American checks. And they go live in Africa or Mexico or whatever. Go there with no money. Go to Mexico with no money. And see how you treat it. It's a whole different ball game. Folks with money in our situation, always you hear. People always going to treat you a certain way when you got money in your pocket. Go there. Homeless on the street somewhere in Africa. Homeless somewhere in Mexico and see how you treat it. You'll mess around and end up in a Mexican jail, an African jail. And there, I heard their jails is way worse than American jails are. Because there's no rules. There's no humanitarian rules for prisoners in some of these other foreign countries. So it's up to you. I'm not here to convert nobody to nothing. You never hear me say, I'm not trying to change your mind. I don't give a damn about what you believe. I'm not trying to convert you to nothing. Only thing I do on this channel is suggest to us, bring you advice, and like Elijah Muhammad always said, take it or let it alone. I could care less. It's up to you. But don't sit around here talking about you love your grandchildren and my great-grand. You don't love nobody because you're setting them up for failure. You're setting them up for something really, really bad. So I don't want to hear that crap talk about, I love my grandchildren. You don't love nobody except yourself. As long as you're comfortable and hopefully you can die and make it through, you don't care about their future. Because their future really is the Mississippi campaign. That type of activity. Getting your own so that you can produce your own food, clothing, shelter, gas, water, set yourself up so that you can defend yourself against insurrectionists and other domestic terrorists. Right now, we're vulnerable to any kind of attack. Anybody can do anything they want to us. And the only thing we're going to do is cry. We shall overcome, and the usual stuff that we do all the time. And we might break some windows now and then, whatever. You know, we predictable. We predictable. Do the same stuff all over time. But see, the Mississippi campaign is not predictable. That's something they never saw before. What are they trying to do? What is their goal? They don't never seen that happen before. And it's all legal. There's nothing, they can't accuse you of being no terrorist or nothing like that. It's all legal. That's the wonderful thing about it. Take advantage of what your enemy give you and use it for yourself. And on that note, I want to give brother and sister a chance to give their closing remarks, and we're going to call it a night. Sister Noble going first. Ladies first. Sister Noble, did you
Yeah.
have
So yeah. I just want to say, you know, I hate the brother was at the state capitol.
Yeah, well, he was.
He don't need to be there. I mean, he didn't need to be there. I just
Right.
say that he didn't need to be there because you know, people, you know, these authority people, they ain't. I don't think they playing. They not playing this time. I think, you know what I mean. They really gonna be rounding up people. You know.
Yeah.
They're really gonna be rounding up people. So, you know, they're calling them insurrectionists. I mean, you know, they're calling all of them insurrectionists, not just the ones that broke into the building or stormed the Capitol building, but all of them. You know, that mainstream media, you know, Joe Biden, you know, the senators, you know, the congressmen and women, they're referring to all of them as insurrectionists, you know. So, yeah, you know, I hated to hear, you know, that he was there, you know, physically. But I also know that a lot of people from Atlanta was there at the state capitol, because I saw on the news many of them returned, you know, from Washington D.C. They were returning, and you know, they were at the Hartsfield International Airport. One of them, one white guy, was actually confronted by a black guy at the airport while he was talking to the news media, you know, about what happened. And he got confronted by a black guy who called him a terrorist. This is a video. This is on video. Called him a terrorist straight up in front of the news crew that was interviewing him. He walked by, you know, it was a black guy, walked by and called him a terrorist. You know, he said he served in the U.S. military. That's what the black guy told the white guy. He said, "You're a terrorist." And the white guy said, "No, I am not a terrorist. I am exercising my free speech. You know, I am exercising my free speech." You know, and you know, the black guy actually started dialing the 911 on his cell phone and said, "I'm exercising my right also." That what the black guy told the white guy. You know, and I'm like, okay, you know, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want nobody to know I was in Washington. I just say that I wouldn't want nobody to know I was in Washington, but I wasn't there. I'm just saying, if I had gone to Washington, I probably would be deleting all the videos associated, you know, with the trip, everything. You know, I wouldn't want nobody to know I was there, you know. But anyway, you know, I gave my 2 cents, you know, but I am looking forward to one thing. I'm looking forward to that $2,000 stimulus check. I'm looking forward to that $2,000 stimulus check. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm looking forward to that. You know, hopefully we can get, you know, some universal basic income. You know, so anyway, and also my book is on Amazon Kindle for $3.99, entitled "God is on Trial: How Religion Keeps Humanity Under Mind Control and Fear." A lot of those white terrorists at the state capitol yesterday are Christians. Did you all know that? A lot of them are Christians. They believe in white Jesus. That's on my book cover. They believe in white Jesus. That's on my book cover. That's who they worship, white Jesus. Some of y'all worship black Jesus, but they worship white Jesus, okay? Wow. And there's also an Asian Jesus. There are Asian Jesus also. So anyway, go out and purchase my book, because a lot of people have been brainwashed through organized religion, through organized Christianity. They worship white Jesus, which represent the sun, S-U-N, because he is a sun god. That's all Jesus is. He's a sun god. Okay, like all the other sun gods that preceded him in the ancient world, like Apollo, Zeus, Mithra. He's just, you know, the latest version of the sun god, S-U-N. He, you know, he was also worshipped, you know, in the ancient world. Before that was called Jesus, it was Serapis. Do you all remember Serapis, the Greco-Roman deity, or Greco-Egyptian? My bad, Greco-Egyptian deity called Serapis. Yeah, there was a sun god called Serapis worshipped in the ancient world prior to a character that was invented by the Romans called Jesus, or Iesous, or Jesus. You know, Iesous or Jesus. Those are another pronunciations, or you know, those are other pronunciations for Jesus. You know, but anyway, Serapis was a Greco-Egyptian deity that was basically patterned after Ptolemy or Ptolemy. I don't know why I said Ptolemy. I meant Ptolemy. Ptolemy that ruled Egypt after Alexander the Greek died. Okay, Alexander the Greek died, and his one of his generals called Ptolemy ruled Egypt, and Serapis was patterned after Ptolemy, who ruled ancient Egypt after the death of Alexander the Greek. And also there was a Mithra, that was a deity that was worshipped in ancient Persia. That was a deity from out of ancient Persia. And the Romans adopted the worship of Mithra into their religious system, the Romans, the ancient Romans. So all of these sun gods that preceded the biblical Christ, you know, they are other versions of Jesus. They're just earlier versions of Jesus, who is also a sun god. Jesus, known as Jesus, you know, or Iesous. Okay, think about it. Think about what I just said. Because a lot of y'all thinking Jesus is a real historical figure, and no, the biblical Jesus was never a real historical person. He was invented by the Romans, okay? He was invented by the Romans, who stole earlier religious systems from other cultures. The Romans invented Christianity. That's what they did. They invented Christianity in the 1st century AD. Okay. So healthcare. Oh, thank you, healthcare. Thank you. You know, you said you would support my book by purchasing your book. Thank you. Go to Amazon Kindle, okay? Amazon Kindle or Amazon.com, and, you know, just type in the title, God is on Trial, and you should see the book cover. You should see the book cover. It's a cover of a white Jesus, a stone statue of a white Jesus. Yeah, there it is right there. God is on Trial. How Religion Keeps Humanity Under Mind Control. It is available for $3.99. Now, if you want the paperback, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. That'll be $13.99. Okay. Thank you, healthcare. But you know, I just wanted to, you know, just give you all a brief history lesson on this biblical character called Jesus, or Iesous, or Jesus, or, you know, he's a representation of the sun, S-U-N. Christianity is nothing more than sun worship. That's it. It's nothing more than sun worship. You're worshiping the sun. Like in the Bible, for instance, the Bible talks about the kingdom of God, the kingdom of God. Well, that's referring to the signs of the zodiac that are in the heavens. You know, the Bible also talks about a character called Satan, This character called Satan is also a mythical character. Okay, Isaiah chapter 14 talks about a Lucifer that fell from heaven, because he opposed the biblical God, and as a result, Lucifer fell from heaven. Lucifer, the word Lucifer really referred to the planet Venus. It referred to the planet Venus, okay? The word Lucifer from Isaiah chapter 14 referred to the planet Venus prior to the Christians changing the connotation from the planet Venus to an angel of God that fell from the heaven after he opposed the biblical God in heaven. Okay, there is, like I said yesterday, a lot of people believe in Jesus and they believe in Satan and they believe in Lucifer, and they practice religious traditions, and they practice these traditions based upon their worship of these deities that don't even exist, because they're mythical figures. A lot of folks out here that worship Satan and Lucifer, they practice human and animal sacrifice. They really do believe in Satan or Lucifer, and they practice human sacrifice, and they do all these religious rituals in service to Satan or Lucifer. You know, and just because they're mythical figures, you know, the people that practice Satanism or Luciferianism, they don't care. I'm just saying, they don't care. They think it's real. They think these entities actually exist. So, you know, I just wanted to give you all a, a talk, that's pretty much all I had to say.
All right, okay, everyone. I'm gonna carry this on to a close, and I just wanted to just add my little few 2 cents before we actually do close out here on this topic. And I'd like to thank you, Brother Angel, Slup 7, and Sister Noble for sharing y'all, insights on this platform as far as with this topic being concerned that we're speaking on. And I also just want to say that, well, you know, at the end of the day, as someone just got done saying, we may just be better off being exterminated, as far as us as the so-called American Negro being concerned, because we are demonstrating in every way that we really don't want to be a free people.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, even in my own life, you know what I'm saying? If I was to drop dead right now, it wouldn't really matter to me, because I know I got to go one day, just like we all do, And so it'll be a happy-go ending in that case, I may not be breathing, but I won't have to be here to keep putting up with this crap, which is one thing for sure, it wouldn't really matter to me. But anyway, I just want to, just say that, if you really want to be free, get on this Mississippi campaign platform. Join us on this Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign platform so we can, not march our way to freedom, but take our way to freedom. By taking our freedom. That's the only way. Just like, I heard someone say about how the Vietcong soldiers during the Vietnam War did not give up on fighting to keep the American army from oppressing them? Well, we got to have that same attitude against our enemy oppressor over here in America. If we want to be free, we got to be willing to die. Because we're going to die anyway. So we got to be willing to go ahead and die for our freedom. You know, we die enough every day for nothing.
Right.
Foolishness, you know, over smoking each other, you understand, because somebody wearing the wrong color in the wrong hood, because somebody, you know, got the wrong color bandana wrapped around their head, or because somebody, you know, looked at them the wrong way, or looked at their female, or dude, or so-called dude, I'll say, the wrong way, you know, because, you know, all this other foolishness, you know, and so, and most of us are also losing our lives to this so-called white man's criminal justice system, by the way.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to lose your life for something in the manner of taking your liberation, which is a much more worthy cause. You know, now, I mean, you know, I basically, you know, I'm ready to just go on ahead and expire. I really am. You know, Myron from King Jr. once said this, and I just recently saw an old clip of one of the last speeches he gave, when he spoke about, you know, I may not have much time. You know what I'm saying? I may not have much longer. But hey, I tell you what, I have seen the promised land. And it's there for the taking. And all we got to do is go there and get it. And stop being punks and cowards. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. Stop being punks and cowards when it comes to our oppression, our bondage. Yeah, we're not going to be punks and cowards toward each other, of course.
Right.
Because we programmed that way. We've been programmed that way for over 400 years. Okay, I understand all that. But when it comes to this over 400-year oppression that we still find ourselves suffering under as a people, we're actually punks and cowards. And it's just that simple. Stop being a punk and coward. Stop being a man and a woman. You know? Stop letting our kids go unprotected. Our elderly go unprotected. We the only group of people that don't protect our elderly. And that's a damn shame. I've said that other times, numerous times on social media, you know? And I've, you know, stated my position on that and how I feel about that. And it's really sad. It really is, you know? And I just feel like, you know, if we don't, you know, stand for something, we might as well not even live. We don't deserve to live. You know, and I'm not saying that it's right that we suffer at the hands of our oppressor, bars them killing us. No, I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is that if we don't stand up for something, then what is the use of living? Or what's the use of living? If we don't stand up for something, what is the hell is the use of living? And I literally mean that when I say that. What is the use of living when you don't stand up for something? You steadily falling for anything. We've been falling for anything for over the last 400 years. When is it going to end? You know, you falling for these old wacky-ass religious teachings, which ain't got you nowhere. You know, you've been lied to, and here you still is, finding yourself in a bondage situation under a slave condition. That's still, you know, our reality as a people in this country. You know, and I mean, you know, if you really want to be liberated from an oppressor, you got to take your liberation. Marching, protesting, like I said earlier, going out there with your arms up in the air, like the enemy really give a damn about that, you know, ain't gonna get you nowhere, but killed more for nothing, dying more for nothing. When you need to just go on ahead and die for something, if you're gonna die for something worthy of a cause. Some your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren could be proud about.
Right.
You know, I see many uncles, I know it's many nieces and nephews walking around hurt because they uncles, they fathers, they mothers, they aunties died for nothing, went to the penitentiary for nothing. Let's channel that statement into something positive, where they can have a positive reason for making that statement. Where they can say, well, our ancestors died for something. You know, because now we're free. And with that said, we're going to close this out. In the words of what our soul brother who was once here with us, Don Cornelius, say, peace and soul.